Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt Rheaume. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt Rheaume can help.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right, let's ready to rock and roll. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Feeling good. Actually, overwhelmed. I'm writing a story. Then I'm trying to hop on with you, and then all of a sudden the Dolphins are signing Jalen Reagor. And got to tell you, hold up. I got to post this real quick. Post the news. So got a short article up there, and then now I'm happy to be on with you.
It's kind of a twofold thing. Jalen Reagor can help you as a receiver and a returner too, right? I think that's kind of. So it might be a guy for depth purposes and competition in both areas, right?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, when you think of Jalen Reagor, the first thing is obviously out. He had the tough luck of having Justin Jefferson picked right after him in that 2020 draft, so always compared to him and never quite lived up to that billing and being a first-round pick. But beyond that, yeah, he does have some return experience, so another guy that you could throw into that mix where Malik Washington is, where Kevin Coleman, the rookie that they drafted, can also help you in the open field. So another guy, 5'11", use his speed more in his game. So obviously has underwhelmed to this point in his career, but has been a little bit of a journeyman since it didn't work out for him initially in Philly. And then it was Minnesota where he ended up with Justin Jefferson there, the Patriots, the Chargers. He had an injury last training camp, so didn't make it to playing at all last year. And now we'll see what the Dolphins are getting by the time they can get him incorporated.
Yeah. By the way, was Chris Bell there? Was he just doing some side work? Speaking of receivers, because that's one guy that I'm the most excited about going into the season.
Yeah, just side drills for now, but I would still be encouraged by where he is because for an ACL that occurred in November and knowing that he started, I don't know what he's up to now, but before the draft, right before the draft, he was running 18 miles per hour on a treadmill. Just to see him out there at rookie minicamp and working his way back, and then now through the couple weeks of OTAs, this mandatory minicamp, you would think he's going to start training camp on PUP, but maybe there is a shot that in a month and a half, a month and change, when we don't have the official start date of training camp yet, but late July, maybe he could be out there and actually working. So, positive track for him.
I think he's out there by late October to early November anyway.
Okay, you're thinking, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one way or the other. If he just starts at the beginning on PUP and then they bring him off and they give him the 2 weeks of getting in shape and all that, although he'll be in shape already at that point, but getting kind of in that practice mode, something like that, I think he'll be fine, dude. They're young, dude. He's a puppy out of college. That body will bounce back quickly. If he's 30 years old and he's got wear and tear, it's a whole different ballgame. But I've got hope for him to be there by late October to early November, I believe. If not, maybe he does get, maybe he's freakish and he gets there a little earlier and all that and is able to bounce back even faster. That would be absolutely awesome. All right. So
I will say he is doing more. He's doing, more aggressive rehab work. So, and I can't get too specific, but still just a good trajectory that he's on at this point.
All right. Speaking of trajectory, was the ball from Malik Willis's arm finding the right trajectory and the right targets? Because apparently he opened it up with an interception as he overthrew the other Malik. So talk to us a little bit about how was Malik Willis's accuracy day today?
Yeah, he still had a much better day. It didn't start out looking all that great. That interception, which Juju Brents came down with, so good to see Brents coming along as someone who could compete for a starting cornerback spot here and could be on that path. I mean, he's got the tremendous physical traits to handle it, his length and everything. But Malik, yeah, a better day today. And then it was encouraging that Halfley said, so this would have been their last OTA practice before today. So it was one that was close to us. I think they practiced on Friday. He said that he liked how he bounced back and some of the things he was doing in that session. So for that one, we got to take Halfley's word for it. So
that part.
yeah. We didn't see it with our own eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you see with your own eyes today?
Right, today. Yeah, right. So there was that, and then there was today, which aside from that interception, I mean, he had mostly a sharp day. Spread the ball out to a lot of different targets, hit his receivers, a lot of it in stride. Maybe there'll be an incompletion here and there that's just slightly off, but I mean, he showed some accuracy with his passes. Some of them were so I wouldn't say like the tightest window, but just defenders in man coverage right behind a guy, and it's kind of like a short, little margin for error with the throw. Like you got to lead him just right so that it's not broken up, but you can't lead him too much, and it's an incompletion. So aside from that misfire, then mostly good. And I will credit Chris Johnson for one breakup that I can't remember who the intended target was, but it was still a well thrown ball. Got to and it might have even been Greg Dulcich as the tight end. But Chris Johnson made an impressive breakup on it. So it was actually a great, maybe not great throw, but it was still a decent throw. And then Chris Johnson just made a great play. And that's where you kind of see like, okay, there's some good on good there where you saw a nice throw from Malik. Like he put it where it needed to be. And then Chris Johnson made a play on the ball. So you like to see that kind of stuff.
Okay. What it seemed like, it was mostly all short throws today. It seemed like they were working on a short game. There wasn't really a long game going on. Is that accurate?
Yeah, more so. This goes with something Happily mentioned that they've kind of they went through like a first wave of install. So now it's like they get back to the front of it and what they started with, so the first OTA that we saw it was a lot of the basics. It was just short throws, dump offs, make the right decisions, a lot of underneath stuff. So now they've kind of circled back to, all right, we did like one go around of a lot of this install. Now it's back to the beginning. So I guess that's kind of what today was. And, Malik Willis taking it in stride and making the right throws.
I don't care about the running game or stopping the run or holding the edge or any of that or rushing.
That's important stuff.
Yeah, it's important, but not at this moment because there's none of that going on. There's no contact. So, I will ask you, it was a quarterback sharp. Okay. What receivers were standing out? What you mentioned that Chris Johnson made one breakup, which is good to hear because he's a rookie. You mentioned Juju Brents is the one that got the interception from the overthrow to Malik. Give me receivers that stood out. Did we get any rookies standing out? What happened on the receiver side?
Yeah, and actually, so the Chris Johnson play that was made was guarding Jalen Tolbert. Sorry, so get that settled. So yeah, wide receivers. Well, Tolbert would be the one who I just consistently see targeted, probably the most. He had a catch of about 20 yards during 11 on 11 at today's drills. So obviously you see Greg Dulcich. So, I mean, this could come from the tight ends, and Greg Dulcich is targeted a bunch from Malik Willis. That's a connection that I think we'll need to strive. We haven't seen too much of Tutu Atwell. So that's one thing. The second OTA that we covered, he had a little short catch and run where he caught the ball short and with room to run. But aside from that, haven't seen him too much. Seen Caleb Douglas targeted plenty, and he had the tough day the other day. So He's still a work in progress, but he has the physical tools when you just see him line up with the length and the height that he has. So right now, I'm looking at it as Jalen Tolbert is that top wide receiver target. Greg Dulcich will get a lot of targets as a tight end, and as Devon Achane is doing a little bit more, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being like the leading receiver with how much you expect him to get work in the pass game. So that'll be the ultimate kind of, once you have him, then you could really see what the pass game looks like, even though he's coming out of the backfield, but sometimes can line up out wide and move in motion and all that good stuff.
Were there any DBs that stood out outside of what you saw with Chris Johnson?
I mean, I would say, yeah, Chris Johnson had that play. Juju Brent's obviously coming down with an interception, so good on him. And he just looks the part as well when you see him. I mean, I'll just overall say still Jason Marshall. I think he's in line for just to make a stride going into his second season. And we still need to see a lot of other guys. It's like Storm Duck, he's got to get back and really playing. So you wonder about him. I think I've seen AJ Green, a veteran who's been around, trying to make this roster, make a play or two. So a lot of guys that are just going for these jobs. And even I'll mention going back to the previous OTA, Ethan Bonner punching a ball out, forcing a fumble. That was good to see from him. And we've seen him show flashes in training camp, but, always kind of like that fringe roster spot player. So, he's one that will need to make those kind of plays if he wants to make this team.
What'd you pick up from Hafley's press conference? First of all, let's go through the contract guys, as in Aaron Brewer and Brooks, plus the follow-up. You talked to Brooks right after practice about the contract situation. What feeling did you get?
Brewer we spoke to.
Brewer. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Aaron Brewer. Right now, the way he put it was, hey, he has no clue. But he's just coming in, doing what he's supposed to do. The one OTA that we saw he missed last week, we found out it was due to a family obligation that Hafley mentioned. So it was an excused absence. He was fine on that front, back for mandatory minicamp, no drama there. And him and Brooks, they've been out here. Obviously now at this point we're at the mandatory part of it, so they are supposed to be here. Otherwise it'd be a fine, but they've been here since the voluntary OTAs. So I know Brewer had previously told our Chris Perkins, who went and talked to him at a charity event that he was working this offseason, that he's in no rush to get a deal done. So Brewer's kind of just going through the motions, and right now he doesn't know where it stands, kind of similar to Jordan Brooks when he said, hey, I don't know if it will get done or not, but I believe in John Eric Sullivan as far as that he has said that these are the three foundational pieces that he wants to get extended this offseason. The first one being Devon Achane, got that one done. And now I think next order of business, especially now that we're in this post-June 1 area of the offseason, is go get Brooks settled, get Brewer settled, sign the rookie class, maybe make some free agent pickups, some small pickups like Jalen Reagor here today.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's probably what they're going to be doing, tweaking a little bit here and there where they think they may need some competitive depth and things like that. Did you find anything else that was newsworthy from the press conference from Hafley in the morning?
Yeah, he mentioned Malik Willis, that Friday practice was better. So, like as soon as I get off of the, I got like a short version of the notebooks where it's all about Aaron Brewer. So I'll go back and grab what he wrote or what he said on that and write it into what I got for today. What else? He mentioned how minicamp is different from their OTA setting. So talked about how now they'll be going over film in the afternoons. So that's a little big part of what this is now as you get the team into this next phase in the offseason workout. And it's really starting to come to now after these 3 days where it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday session. They got just one more week to wrap up OTAs, and then they got to get these guys in the position to go back, wherever they're going to spend their time in the rest of the offseason, the 6-7 weeks, however much it is, once we get that official training camp start date. So then they're in the right spot to come back for training camp in late July.
All right. When you look at, obviously Malik is your starter and Quinn Ewers is your backup. When you're watching practice, who looks better? Who looks more comfortable?
If you're just going off of passing game, the 7-on-7 stuff, then yeah, I mean, Quinn Ewers, especially when I still have that OTA session in my mind from that second week where Willis struggled a little bit. Yeah, Quinn Ewers looks comfortable, and he's been under Bobby Slowick last year. Bobby Slowick was senior passing game coordinator and, took Quinn Ewers under his wing in that first season in Miami. Now Slowick is the offensive coordinator. So there's some comfort between them two there.
But it's still the same elements from where Willis came from.
Oh, yeah. Right.
It's not Willis.
Certainly elements, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same elements. So Willis knows this offense too.
Yeah.
And actually, Willis will probably understand. They'll use their terminology more than whatever Slowick was using. They'll probably be using more Green Bay-ish like that. Will Willis will understand. So that's it. But
I don't know about that because it's still Slowick's offense. So Hafley comes over from the defensive side in Green Bay. So I don't think he's necessarily going to say, "Oh, okay, Matt LaFleur said it like this, so this is what I want you to
copy." I'm just going to say that you are going to do things like they were doing. Is all I'm saying.
Sure, you got to implement that. Yeah,
it's kind of the way it goes because you're bringing in those elements, But overall, and then through today, did you see a more comfortable Ewers over Malik?
Yeah, well, today Malik Willis had a better day. So, I mean, I might put them back at if it's just this setting, even Malik Willis. Now, yeah, Malik Willis had the interception too to go with it. But the X factor to me is that in game, Malik Willis has the athleticism to go make a play, which Quinn Ewers has some of, but not to the extent of Malik Willis, where he could be up for, one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the league overall. In that aspect, he could, I don't want to say Lamar Jackson, but I mean, maybe as far as athletically, in that realm. Obviously he just has to put together all the quarterback aspects. And in that this practice setting is more inclined to just the stand in the pocket, go through your progression, that type of quarterback play, then that's where Quinn Ewers has the edge. So that's why he'll look better. And then he's also going against second team and whatnot, has second team on his side as well. But you factor all these things in, and then you got to see what it would look like fully once Malik Willis, is allowed to go run when he wants to, scramble.
Oh, well, but see, that's the thing. You're not able to run all the time. You can't.
Oh, yeah, right.
You can't live off of running. No. And if you depend on running, you will die. So since I wanted to ask you and kind of set you up this way because I wanted to see what your eyes will tell us of what you're watching. And so then all I have to do is I go through your eyes, I live vicariously, and others that cover the team, but then I hear the coach. And if you listen to the words of the coach today, Quinn Ewers is smart and knows where he has to go with the football. Dolphins coach Jeff Hafley says he has no-look awareness. He processes really quickly and has improved. And then he says about Malik, he has to play quarterback right now. In practice, I want to see him go through his progressions and get rid of the ball on time. He puts stress on defenses, but he needs to practice like that. So he's talking about, we know he can run, and we know he's going to put pressure on defenses for that, but I need him to live in the pocket and play in the pocket. And then when he talks about Ewers, he talks about a guy that he's comfortable who is playing in the pocket.
Yeah.
And then there's, let's see. Let me see if there's one more. He talks about the Friday. There we go. Okay. So when when I look at him talking about one guy and then I look at him talking about the other guy, it seems like he needs the guy that he signed to get to where the guy that he inherited is in the pocket right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of disturbing, shall I say, because I mean, you if you're going to live on your legs, this is going to be a really short stint for Malik Willis. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking you, since I asked you about your eyes, you told me what your eyes said. Now I want you to tell me what your ears are now saying and your mind is saying when you hear or rehear the words from Jeff Hafley this morning on both QBs.
Yeah, and this is the time to put Malik Willis through that gauntlet of restricting his legs and saying, all right, this is what you have to do. This is what you need to focus on and work on in order to improve your craft. So we know this is the part of the quarterback game that he needs to elevate in order to become a complete quarterback in this league. So that the running stuff, and he could just do that like he's playing in the backyard, and he could just pull it out whenever he needs it. And then using that big arm too. If a play breaks down and then someone gets open 60 yards down the field, then he could just fling that thing out there and get it there, even on the move, like he showed back when he had that pro day and he wowed everyone with the big arm and everything. So yeah, this is the time where you really challenge him to focus in on being that pocket quarterback. And yeah, in comparison, that's more Quinn Ewers' game. So it's definitely where in this setting, it's more inclined for Ewers to thrive. And then now you need to see that from Willis, where he's showing some flashes now after he struggled a little bit. And then, you just hope it gets to a part where now you have both of those things combined once he is allowed to go and freelance when the play breaks down and scramble and make plays with his legs.
And listen, everybody throws this very loosely around. Oh, it's great he has legs because the other guy didn't. Well, the guy with the Rams doesn't have any legs. And the guy that won 7 titles didn't have any legs. And Eli Manning won 2 of them and he had no legs. And Peyton Manning won 2 of them and he had no legs and he didn't even have an arm in one of them. But anyway, my point is that you cannot live on your legs because Lamar Jackson is the greatest of all time on his legs and he has no championships to show for it. And he's had defenses and running games and all that kind of stuff. And so this is where I agree with Hafley, but this is where it gets interesting for you as you cover it every day, for fans to watch, because if this young man cannot make a living from the pocket, he will not survive running around. And this whole thing, this theory that people have out there, loose theory, that just because he can run, that's the panacea to all your problems. That you would be very mistaken if that's what you're going to count on.
No, yeah, it's not something to just count on like you've got everything settled. It is a nice thing to have, but you need the foundation of the pocket play and being able to read defenses. Even before all that, be the true quarterback leader of the offense, communicate the calls, get your team aligned. Then it's read the defense. First, once the ball is snapped, is rely on your arm and make the throws that you need to make. And then it's legs when things break down, unless you incorporate some design runs, which is something you can do. But, that's the run game. That is literally the separate part of using the run game. And maybe you get some zone reads with Devon Achane back there. And, does Malik Willis hold on to it? Does he give it off to Achane? If it's Achane going this way super fast, then defense has to worry about that. If not, Malik is going the other way and he's still got the ball in his hands. But when you're just talking about the passing game, then you need to have that first. And yeah, you can roll him out and do different things to get him out of the pocket already. But still, you want to be able to make a play with your arm first and then go to the legs when needed.
All right, 2 quick notes. Speaking of the aforementioned Devon Achane, now that he has his money, was he on the field practicing?
Doing a little bit more. Saw him go through just some walkthrough stuff. So not at any real pace, but the team drills. Then he was still out there on the side. I would see him yapping sometimes, like we've seen with the mic'd up videos where he was yapping with Coach Halfley and all that. So still some of that. Just taking probably mental reps as well as he watches. And then we did see him in that walkthrough setting. So, they hand the ball off to him. It's not like a real pace to anything, but still just envisioning that type of, him being in the offense.
Austin Jackson, did he practice?
Yeah, some individual work for him as well. So an uptick for him, but still, we're not seeing him line up with the team in 11 on 11 and such.
And was Caden Proctor at any point at right tackle?
No, yeah. They're working him on the left side. You wish, huh? You wish.
Gotta ask, bro. We gotta ask. They're preparing. They're not doing the responsible thing. You should be preparing. You have an often injured right tackle, and at the moment you have Keon or Heck or whatever. Is it like a rotation while he's not there, or is it somebody that is finding their way there already permanently?
Yeah, I mean, I've mainly seen one player who's been around, a developmental piece who has been around for across different regimes. As I've narrowed it down, very obviously, it's a player who you have liked in the past and has made this roster. Yeah, I mean, it's been him. I wouldn't say, and it's hard to tell really if you're not physically blocking too much, but I mean, I've seen him beat on that side, and I've seen the edge set against him in on run plays, but yeah, they're not really blocking with pads on or anything yet, so it's kind of just going through the motions. But yeah,
like you said, it really doesn't mean much right now.
Yeah,
there's no contact right now.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So what are you working on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my brother?
Yeah, I got the Aaron Brewer update going just before I joined you today after this Tuesday OTA or mini camp session. Then got the Jalen Reagor news, so threw that up quickly, and then I'm working up a story on Tyrell Dodson and how he's managing this competition that's been thrown at him with the drafting of Jacob Rodriguez as a second-round pick. He had, a lot of candid comments to say about how he approaches things as a player who had to work his way up in Buffalo in a crowded linebacker room there. And so he's been through competition before. And he also, he said he rolls out the red carpet for the guys that are coming after him, like players did for him when he was working his way up in Buffalo. So maybe like Jacob Rodriguez down the road will be speaking of Tyrell Dodson the way Dodson today was talking about like AJ Klein, Matt Milano, and Tremaine Edmonds, these guys who helped him when he was a youngster with the Bills.
Good stuff. As always, make sure you follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up on Friday, my friend, after minicamp wraps up. Thank you.
That's right.
Got it.
This has been another session of the Welt Rheaume Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welt Rheaume can help.